Hello everyone, my name is Vimal Raj. I'm a lecturer from Mechanical Department from GEMS Polytechnic College, Aurangabad, Bihar. So today we're going to discuss on the unit number 2, that is ferrous metal and alloys, and this is lecture number 13. And the topic that we're going to see for today is high-speed steel, that is HSS. And this is from the subject called Mechanical Engineering Materials, and the subject code is 1625304. So the content for today's lecture is high-speed steel. So basically we will be discussing about what is high-speed steel in all the types. High-speed steel. So first introduction of high-speed steel. High-speed steel is a highly alloyed tool steel capable of maintaining hardness even at a elevated temperature. So basically high-speed steel is nothing but this type of steel will have the hardness even though when the temperature is increased, when even though when it is uh, even though when it has been heated, it will show the hardness even after the temperature is being elevated. And these high speed tools steels are so named primarily because of their ability to machine materials at a high cutting speed. So it has an ability of a machine material at a high cutting speed. So even though it has the this even though when it goes to a high cutting speed, it is used for the machining materials. And next one is the high speed steel has usually high resistance. So basically it has a good resistance means which has more rigid, I would say. Resistance have more stability or hardness to softening at the temperature up to 600 Celsius. It is called the red hardness. So basically it has the high resistance to softening. So basically high resistance when it comes to softening at a temperature up to 600 degrees Celsius. So they are complex iron-based alloys of carbon, chromium, vanadium, molybdenum, or tungsten, or a combination therefore. In some cases, substantial amount of cobalt. So these are the complex of iron-based alloys. So basically, these are the iron-based alloy materials. So the carbon and alloy elements are balanced at levels to give high attainable. So basically, the carbon and the alloy contents, which is added in this high speed steel, where which it will be balanced in a equal combination or equal ratio, so that it will be responsible for the hardening as well as it has the high wear resistance, and it has the high resistance to the softening effect also. And it has a good toughness for effective use in industrial cutting operations. So high toughness in the sense, even though it goes under a high cutting speed also, the material will not break or it will not crack. So especially suited to the application involving complicated tool shapes, that is drills, taps, milling, cutters, and broaches. So this element, this type of steel is suited for the drills and taps, milling, all those. Next one is the high-speed steel, that is classification of HSS. So the AISI established a classification system for the high-speed tool steel. That system consists of a T for the, so steel have the tungsten. So basically, when tungsten is mixed as one of the primary alloying element, it is represented as T, and when molybdenum is added as a primary alloying element, and it is represented as M. So the two basic types of high speed steels are tungsten type and the molybdenum type. Okay, so this tungsten type will be designated as T grades, and the molybdenum type will be designated as M grades. So in addition, there are number of number of either number of that follows that either the M or T. So thus there are high speed tool steels designated M1, M2, M41, T1. So these are the numbers, that's the model numbers for all those things. So that number does not have any special significance other than the distinguish one from another. So basically T and M shows the difference between the two, whether it is tungsten or it is a molybdenum. Next, a few common grades for HSSR. So this is nothing but type T1. So this is very rich carbon, vanadium, molybdenum, chromium, vanadium. These are the these are the what do you call the combinations. Okay, so they have different types. So you could see all those in the table itself. So where which HSS 841 is the most famous steel grade for cutting tool. It consists of this is tungsten, 4 chromium, 1 vanadium. So typical alloying ingredients are carbon. So in the previous slide you could have seen the combinations like the percentage of contribution of these elements. So first one is the carbon, next one is the tungsten or the molybdenum, one is the vanadium, next one is the chromium, and second last one is cobalt in some grades. So cobalt will not be used in all the grades, only in some grades it will be used. So influence of alloying elements on the steel property. So first one is a carbon, so which forms carbide increase wear resistance. So the use of carbon is it increase the wear resistance. So basically it will increase the wear resistance, and it's also responsible for basic matrix hardness. So it is also useful for the basic matrix hardness. And next one is the tungsten and the molybdenum. The usage of tungsten and molybdenum is to improve the red hardness, wherein which during the softening process, the redness will be there. So it improves the red hardness and the retention. See, basically, what happens is if you heat a metal, it becomes red, right? So when the redness happens, some metals will tend to lose its rigidity, and it might change its shape. So when you give some external force, it might change the shape. But the red hardness is nothing but, even though the metal has been heated and still the metal is red in color, uh, it will not lose its rigidity. It will not lose its rigidity. So basically what happens is it will not lose its rigidity, and it will be staying there. I mean, it will be very hard, so that you can change it to the desired shape without losing the rigidity or the hardness. So that is what the red hardness is all about. So retention of red hardness and high temperature strength of the matrix. So and from special carpets of great hardness. So retention of hardness is very important. So basically it will hold the hardness no matter what happens. And the use of vanadium is forms special carbides of supreme hardness. Forms special carbides of supreme hardness, increases high temperature wear resistance. So basically the use of vanadium is increased wear resistance, high temperature wear resistance. Next one is the tension of hardness and high temperature strength of the matrix. So that is the reason they had this so much of combinations of the properties like carbon, tungsten, and vanadium. Next one is the chromium. The use of chromium is promote depth hardening. Depth hardening in the sense, even though when it's been written hardly, the depth also it will hold this hardness. Produce readily soluble carbides. The use of cobalt is improves red hardness and retention of hardness. So same like that. So this is a microstructure of ISS, in which this is a microstructures. So this is a picture in which the structure of the ISS has been HSS has been captured. So the microstructure consists of undissolved excess carbides in a matrix of magnetite. So these carbides are probably the type M6C. So basically the molybdenum is the main one. Okay, and where M is either the molybdenum or tungsten, and vanadium carbide is VC. So if it is were tempered at about 500 550 degrees Celsius, the magnet would contain very finely divided M2C. That is, M is again molybdenum or tungsten, which is carbide responsible for the secondary hardening of high speed steels. So the present microstructure is very fine and grained. So when you see the image, there is some cracks and there are small pores now there, right? So these are the very fine, fine grained microstructures, wherein which these are called as these carbides are probably the types, that means tungsten or molybdenum. So that is the microstructure. Next one is property of high speed steelers. High working hardness. So basically it has a hardness, even though when it's been heated, right? Even though when it's been heated, it could stand with this temperature. I mean, it could stand with this hardness because the hardness that is produced, that is present in the steel is more, so that even though it is being uh, tested with different types of hardening, it will not lose its hardness. High wear resistance. So next one is the wear resistance. It has a good wear resistance. High retention of hardness and red hardness. High retention of hardness and red hardness. I explained you what is red hardness. High retention of hardness. That means it will retain its hardness even though it is being subjected to heating. Excellent toughness. So it will not it will not lose its toughness. Even though when it's been heated or it is been heated with the impact, with more impact or more pressure, it will not break its toughness. Okay, so next one is the applications of HSS, then which first one is the single point cutting tool, because even it goes under a high speed cutting process, it will not lose its, it will not break or crack. So that's the one point. And next one is end milling, broach insert, tap, drill, twist drill. So basically, the twist drill and all the drill bit is made with the high speed steel only. That's the reason. Even though when you drill or the when you drill the hood or the or the walls and all, the drill bit will not break that easily because it has that durability. That's the reason they use this high speed in the drilling machines and all. Reamers, we all know what reams, milling cutters. So in milling cutters also they will be using the high speed steel. So basically it has the hardness, and saws and hacksaws, jigsaws, now they use this high speed steel. So high strength low alloy steels are microalloy steels are designed to provide better mechanical properties than the conventional carbon steels. So the HS is the high steel low alloy. So basically when the alloy is reduced, so it is used for the low carbon content for the about 0 to 0.05 to 0.25% carbon in order to produce adequate formability and weldability. So they have manganese content from 1.5 to 2%. See guys, uh, I am giving the exact notes now. Okay, so the content that is presented in the PPT, if you learn this itself, it is more than enough. Okay, so these are the terms that is being used for the examination. So you can directly take this content. Okay, along with the 0.1% of chromium, nickel, molybdenum, vanadium, niobium, titanium, and zirconium are used in various combinations to obtain a fine grain size up to 5 yeah. So high strength low alloy steel provides specific desirable combinations of properties such as high strength toughness, wear resistance, bendability, and atmospheric corrosion resistance. See again and again high strength toughness, wear resistance, weldability, atmospheric corrosion is coming and coming. See, I don't explain again and again because these things are not the basic things you could have understood, so you could have known it. So these steels are not considered alloy steels even though their desired properties are achieved by the use of small alloy additions. So this is the high HSLA attains a yield strength of 290 to 550 MPa. So and the tensile strength is 415 to 700. The microstructure of HSLA consists of ultrafine ferrite and perlite. So this fine microstructure is mainly responsible for such high strength and toughness. So major factor responsible for HS are fine ferrite grain size. So the grain size is very important. And next one is precipitation of hardening and solid solution strengthening. So basically, in order to achieve a fine ferrite grain size, is to control the austenite grain size. So when we control the austenite grain size, we will be getting the fine grain size of ferrite on the HSLA. So and even during the heating process at a high temperature, and refines the grain size also. So if we control the arsenide here, arsenide grain size, then we can easily gain the fine ferrite grain size as well. So next one is the precipitation hardening. Precipitation hardening is nothing but this age hardening, where in which heat treatment technique is used to increase the yield strength of the material. So basically, hard precipitation hardening is nothing but it's a age hardening, where in which the heat treatment is applied to increase the yield strength. So that is called the precipitation hardening. So solid solution strength is nothing but when some solute of atoms are added in the solvent. So when solvent is added, it will be uh, it will be having a local stress field which is formed that interacts with the dislocation and which prevents the motion of dislocation, causes the increasing in strength of the material. So basically, it has to increase the strength of the material under the condition of adding some solute atoms into the solvent, so which is the solid solution strengthening. Applications of HSAR: steels includes oil, gas pipelines, heavy duty highways, off-road vehicles, constructions, farm machineries, industrial equipment, storage tanks, mine and railroad cars, barges and derails. So these are the some of the applications that which high steel low alloy has been used. You can see it. Some bridges also, bridges, offshore structures, power transmission. So these are the applications. So with that, we just come to the conclusion of this video. So today we discussed about the high speed states. These are the reference. Thank you guys. You can see this video.